Are you looking for a commercial real estate broker in Bellingham, Washington? Well, my guest today is Rebecca Heathcock, and she is managing broker at eXp Realty. Welcome to the Local Business Grower podcast, Rebecca.
Thank you, Eric. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you here, and hopefully we'll tell people a little bit more about you and what it's like to be a commercial real estate agent. What would you say makes your skills as an experienced real estate broker unique or different compared to any other agent out there?
Well, I think that depends on the type of asset class, first of all. I do specialize in commercial and high-end residential properties, and I think that my skill set is ideal for somebody with a property that is a higher-end property, usually a higher price point property. I generally deal in properties that are valued at $1 million or more. And that takes a certain skill level, somebody with a deep background in market analysis, and strategy, and marketing and sales, actually. So that's what I like to do, is focus on those unique residential properties out there. For example, one of the properties I have on the market right now is probably one of the most unique properties on Lake Whatcom. It's on DeLesta Point. And that's not a property that just anybody can market properly. You really have to have a large network of folks that are affluent and capable of, first of all, purchasing a property at that price point, but also a deep understanding of how to properly strategically position that property for the types of buyers that would be looking for it. And the same goes for the multimillion-dollar commercial properties that I help sellers liquidate and buyers acquire. It really requires somebody who has a deep understanding of what a business is looking for or what an investor is looking for and how to meet those goals of the buyer and seller. And there's a certain higher skill level that's required. A lot of people can go into real estate. It's not hard to get your license. What's more difficult is the many years of experience that you go through and which builds those skills that allow you to really help your buyers and sellers meet their goals more effectively.
Well, it sounds like you definitely have the experience and the unique field. I mean, some of those dollar amounts and locations aren't just any agent can handle. So what would you find is the biggest mistake that people make when they're choosing either a residential or a commercial real estate agent?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Well, one thing that I really support is that a lot of people, when they're choosing to work with a real estate broker, will, respond to friends and family members who may have been licensed recently. And I think that's great because I like to support my community in that way as well. But one thing to keep in mind is if you have a property that is strategically more challenging to put on the market, or you're looking for something that's truly unique and you choose to work with a broker that doesn't have a lot of experience in those types of assets, then there's a fair amount of risk working with that individual. So even if it is a family member or a friend, you just need to keep in mind that there could be thousands of dollars on the table that you were walking away from if you choose a real estate broker that's not very experienced, or one that's not very experienced in the type of asset that you're trying to acquire or liquidate. If it's a $2 million waterfront property, you probably want to find somebody that has experience in that price range and with waterfront property, because there's a lot of technical aspects of those types of properties. If it's a commercial property, same thing. You don't just stick it on the market and have a junior broker handle it and then get your goals met tomorrow. You really need a broker who has a lot of experience marketing that type of property, and that's when you start to see your goals get met more quickly. And so I see a lot of properties sitting on the market 100 days, 150 days, 200, 350 days, and then they expire out, and the seller's sitting there going, why did I trust this person to help me sell my property? Whereas if that individual had hired an experienced broker with experience in that asset class, probably would have liquidated within a couple of weeks to a month. Even in a buyer's market, that's what our expectation should be. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm all about helping out friends and family, but when it comes the time in large dollar amounts like that, you definitely want to choose an expert who can help you get the deal closed quickly. Now,
well,
as far
one more
as
example. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
There's one more example. I just wanted to throw out one more example. Even if it's not $1 million property, I sell a lot of houses also that are in the $500 to $600 to $1,000 price range. Some of those are also duplexes. And what I see is when there's a property on the market, or when a seller has a property that has tenants in it, either it's a single family home or a duplex, for example, oftentimes a junior broker will not be capable of properly marketing that type of property that has tenants. There's a lot to it. For example, when I take that on, I approach the tenants. I'll get house cleaning to come, great photographs. I'll arrange for the tenants to be absent during showings. I'll arrange open houses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I see a lot of people, some of the pictures I see on the Northwest MLS, for example, are just appalling. They've come in with their iPhone camera, snap a few shots, beds not made, stuff all over the floor. Then there's tenants in there, tenants making the place look terrible. We could be losing sometimes $50,000, $100,000 on that property when it sells, where you could have made a lot more had you worked with a more experienced broker. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to keep hammering that point home, but I think it's a really key point because brokers get a really bad reputation, and it's largely because of the more inexperienced brokers out there, and some are just plain lazy. Not to disparage my fellow brokers, but a lot of hardworking brokers like myself want to make sure we keep our reputation good in the eyes of our customers, and so I think it's an important point to keep making out in the market.
Well, that kind of, you beat me to my next question. I was going to say, are there any insider secret tips within the industry or that brokers know about? And I think you covered that a little bit there. So I'll go on to the next question. And are there anything that you love about working with specific clients or clients really enjoy that you share or bring to the table that other people don't?
Well, I always love helping my clients get their goals met. It is a thrill to me every single time when I help my clients liquidate property for way more than they thought they could get, or when I help buyers get properties for way less than they thought they would have to pay. So those are the extreme cases, but I do have statistics, market statistics, and results that show that I do help buyers get properties for less than list, more than other brokers, and I do help sellers get over list more than other brokers. So I'm proud of those statistics. But, it thrills me to help sellers make money and build wealth through real estate. I really do have a passion for that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Real estate's something that I'm starting to get into, and that's a topic for another conversation. But, I really appreciate you coming on today. What's the best way for people to reach out to you if they want to get a hold of you, or if they have any questions about listing or buying or anything that you might think comes to mind?
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to say is just to reinforce that point you just made. Thank you so much. Even if somebody doesn't have a property to sell or a property to buy, I always want to be a resource no matter what. And I can be reached by email at Heathcock, HEATHCOCK @gmail.com, or they can call me anytime between the hours of 7 a.m. or 8 p.m. at night on my cell phone at 360-306-0786.
Wonderful. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for being a guest today, and really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate your time. Thank you.